Alright, Shalom, all honor and praises be to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the Akim out there, teaching out there on the highways and byways in truth and sincerity. Now I just want to quickly speak on a point, man, and that quick point is, what is the New Testament, man? Because, you know, that point there is important, man, you know, because, you know, these people who scoff and don't understand the scriptures, every time they come camp, they say, what's the New Testament? See, that's the Old Testament, so that means that applied then, but this is the New Testament, so it means everyone can be saved. But that is a lie, because the New Testament is recorded in the Old Testament, and it applies to the same people as it applied in the Old. And now I'm going to explain why. This is Matthew 26 and 28. It says, "For this is the blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins." Now, this story here, this scripture here, is when the Lord was at the Passover, man, when he had the bread and the wine, and he said the wine represents his blood, which is shed. I'll read it again. For this is my blood, the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. Now, again, you know, it's shed for who? The 12 tribes of 12 tribes, man, because of their sins. But what is the New Testament? And now let's go into the Greek for the word testament. There, this is comes from the Greek word diatheke, right? This is Strong 242, and that word there is diatheke. And let's go into what it means, man, because this is an important point. So, you know, basically cut any guy who comes and scoff at the idea, oh, this is a New Testament, so that's the Old Testament, so that's the Old Testament, so it means it's just applied to Israel, but now it's the New Testament, so it means the heathen can be saved. But let's go into the word. It says a disposition, arrangement of any sort which one wishes to be valid, the last disposition which one makes of his earthly possessions after the testament. But it says a compact covenant, a testament, God's covenant with Noah. So the New Testament is the new covenant with the house of Israel. So again, if a scoffer comes up saying that's the Old Testament, read the New, because that's just, no, the Old Testament and the New Testament applies unto the 12 tribes of Israel, and there's nothing you can do about that, you know. Now, so let's see what other scriptures this Strong's G has been used. And it says, this is Acts chapter 7 and 8. It says, and he gave them the covenant, the same Greek word of circumcision. So Abraham begat Isaac and circumcised in the 8th day, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat the 12 patriarchs. Now, so this is Romans chapter 9 and 4. Who are the Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, and the covenant, the same Greek word given of the law and the servants of God and the promises. Skip to Romans 11:27. For this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. So again, the New Testament is the same thing as a new covenant, which only applies to the 12 tribes of Israel. Now let's go back to it quickly. So it says, this is the blood in the New Testament. So this is Galatians 3 and 13. So actually, going back to the scripture that I read from before, obviously I was speaking about that the wine represented his blood as the Lord, Yahweh Shai himself said, which is, the 12 tribes of Israel, starting off with the elect. And it says, Galatians 3:13, it says, Yahweh Shai has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. Now, the Lord, right? He died on a cross. And it says tree because the cross is from wood, Now, he died for the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Because why? He was sent to redeem the 12 tribes of Israel. And no, in the first scripture it says, this is the blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many. And not all. Why? Because not all people on this earth is going to be saved. It's only the 12 tribes of Israel, starting off with the elect, man. But in the kingdom, all Israel's going to be free from sin, man. So all Israel going to be saved, right? But it says he had redeemed us from the curse of the law, and he did that by putting up his life to redeem us from the curse of the law. Now I'm going to read another scripture. This is Hebrews chapter 9:15, and it says, and for this cause he is a mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament. What was the first testament? The first testament was the first covenant. They which were called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. Because we go on what? The kingdom of the 12 tribes of Israel going to stand forever, man. And it says, I'll read it again. And for this cause he is a mediator of the New Testament. The New Testament being the New Covenant, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament. The first testament is the first covenant. They which were called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance, man. You know what I mean? So that's it. Now, as to the point I was saying, you know what? I'm going to read one more scripture and I'm going to go back to my point that I wanted to make, man. That the New Testament is in the Old Testament. And that's a point to just fuck up them scoffers' mind, because they don't really understand what the New Testament actually is. Because really, man, the whole scriptures, man, is a continuous story. The New Testament isn't any different from the Old Testament. It's one pure, truthful book. And it says, this is Isaiah 59:20, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord. That's right. And the Redeemer is Yahweh Shai, because he came and redeemed us from the curse of the Lord. But it says, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob. And in this time period, he's going to come back to save those who turn from transgression in Jacob, being elect, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shai. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith the Lord. My spirit is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth shall not depart from thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, saith the Lord, henceforth forever. But here's the point I want to speak on, that the New Testament is in the Old Testament, because the promise of the New Testament and the New Covenant being established is written in the Old Testament. So that's what I mean, that the promise of the New Testament is spoken of in the Old Testament, not that the Old Testament scriptures are the New Testament scriptures. Because what I'm speaking about is what specifically the word testament itself means. not as in, Genesis and so on, to then, and so on and so forth. I already know you understand where I'm coming from. This is Jeremiah chapter 31 and 31, and it says here, right? It says, "Behold, the days come that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write them in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall no more teach every man his neighbor, saying, and his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall know me from the least unto the greatest from them, saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more." So, the New Testament is the same thing as the New Covenant, which is when the laws and statutes and commandments get put in our inward parts. And that only applies to the 12 tribes of Israel. So if you scoffers come to camp and say, but that's the Old Testament, so what about the New Testament? Question is, what is the New Testament? The New Testament is the new covenant with the house of Israel, which only applies, just like I said, for the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai unto the 12 tribes of Israel. So with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.